Yo guys, what's going on? It's Tom for Two here, or Chessman on Lost Ark. Today I'm giving you guys a bit of a different video. I've actually been requested to do a Sidereal video for Echidna. If you guys don't know, I oftentimes in my videos I post in Lost Ark in terms of like raiding and stuff, I'm usually the party lead. Kind of took over that responsibility since I mean support, and as a support player, it's way easier to like shot call mechs and use the side, and because you don't have to greed DPS at all, mostly just helping your DPS out. So um, today's video is just going to be all about Echidna, when to use the side reel skills, the timings. Just because I noticed a lot of you guys were, or a few of you guys were asking, and yeah, I'm just pretty experienced at using side reels. So let's just dive right into it. I think this run, I just have a random VOD that I found from a while ago. I'm playing on my Aeromancer, um, but this is just normal Echidna for context. Um, and so at the very beginning of the fight in Gate 1, what you're gonna do is you go through the part where you have to like run along with the NPCs, and then you gotta fight the boss pretty much here. So as soon as you run up to the boss, the very first time you want to use the side reel is after you kill the two, I guess, enemies on on the left and right of the boss. And so you want to, again, be careful of the dragon. You want to dodge all that, but you want to wait for a good pattern. So here is now when he's damageable. If you could saw before, if I rewind, he is absorbing like the different attacks that we're doing on him right now, right there. So what you want to do first is wait until he stopped absorbing damage and you're actually doing DPS on him. And you wait till a good like normal pattern that he does, so that you could just use his side. I often wait for the ones where he's just kind of standing still and he's doing that Vicus mech where he throws out the tethers along the around where all the other players are, or when he targets somebody and he's just swinging his sword towards them. So just any one where he's staying still. You don't want to do it when he's swinging like this. If someone counters him, that's a perfect place to use a Zena. So Control X, or I mean, sorry, Control Z is when you is what you want to use for this first one. I never use the second proc here because you want to save it for the next part. So we'll jump forward. The next part is when you play the cutscene, you start doing the run. I assume that all you guys playing have probably ran the raid before. You guys are familiar with all the patterns. So the next time you use the NPC is right after you stagger the boss. So there's gonna be you do the running mech. In this case, we have 30 seconds to stagger him. Um, so you pretty much stagger him. If your bar is full right here, right after you stagger him, you immediately just back up and you use a Zena again. This time you'll again just be able to use one proc. He's gonna be standing still for quite a bit, so it's quite an easy target to hit. The other part is if your DPS is really good, you might not fill up the bar all the way during this stagger phase. So what you're just gonna do is you're again just gonna wait until you see a good normal pattern where he's kind of standing still, or like moving front and back, and or someone counters him. Then that's when you want to just use it. I think it's just really good DPS just to get it down to that 135 HP bars, and then he's gonna go mech into the next phase. So that's two side reel usages right there. The second piece, and the interesting part about this raid is, uh, since I'm party one and I chose to be in the stagger phase, um, eventually you're gonna have to pass it to someone in P2 to use, whoever's in the main stage. But essentially, Armin is going to do some text around like I think 110 bars or something. Um, and what you're going to do is you're going to use Control X to summon a veil. So you're going to wait for the text to appear, and then on the mini map you can see there's some all of a sudden some arrows coming out. There's some bosses or mini bosses coming out. So I usually wait a little bit just to make sure that they arrive at the arena. They're like they're in the fight now. you pop Control X, and you want to do both procs. So you want to do Control X, wait till the timer goes, and then use Control X again. This just helps take down, those mini bosses, and that'll hopefully be enough DPS, give you guys enough time to DPS the boss to go to the party split part. So this is the cutscene, and then as you can see, my party goes to do the stagger, while party two um, stays in the main arena to fight the main boss still. So here is when you want to pass the side over. If you're in the stagger party and you're the lead, you're gonna pass it to somebody else in party two. Preferably, it's gonna be the support. But if they don't know, then you need to find someone in party two who actually does know how to use it. But in any case, if I'm in the party that's staying in the main arena, then I don't have to, um, you know, I don't have to pass it or anything. But essentially, during the fight, one side is going to reach 50 bars of HP left on the boss first. Um, and as you can see, I passed it over to this guy over here. And what's going to happen is um, the boss's HP in the main arena, he's actually going to get a shield up here, and it's going to be pretty visible. Um, so the stagger side is going to call it the lantern color. The main arena side is going to destroy the lamp of the same color. The stagger side is going to stagger the boss, and then that's pretty much it. And then in the main arena, the boss is going to put up like a shield over his HP bar. That's when you use Control X or a veil again. So use a veil, and then you're gonna proc it uh, the second move as well. So really important to break the shield before there's like a window where you have to at least break the shield with enough DPS. So Veil is just really good at breaking that shield. So as you can see, they probably saw the HP bar on the boss have a shield over it. So he immediately procs a Veil, and usually it's while the stagger side is running it back. But again, he's waiting until the second proc is coming up. And yeah, that's pretty much the side usages up until the final phase. And in the final phase, you pretty much just wait to use a Zena again, just for extra DPS. Especially if your party, is a little bit tight on DPS, you want to just make sure you land it. But most parties, in my opinion, for normal mode, they don't. That you use it once and then that's pretty much it. And most parties are pretty decently strong in this part. So we'll see when. I don't think this guy ever passes it back to me. He just tries to use it, but it's essentially just extra DPS here. So let's see if he procs it. Yeah, so he used it right here. So yeah, again, just wait till the boss is standing still, proc Zena. We had enough damage to get down to 8 bars, and then you proc the second time just to freeze them, and then it's just a fight to the finish. Let's talk about Gate 2. So Gate 2, I think we wiped in the middle here, but I'll skip to the part where we actually clear. So Echidna Gate 2, you've actually fight Echidna. The first time you need side is actually pretty far into the fight. You're going to go straight. The first time we use side is at the mirror mech, so you're going to get down to 213 bars, 217 bars or something of HP. Um, and then what's going to happen is you're going to play the mirror mech, and then immediately if you get the last mirror, Echidna's going to get staggered, and you're going to proc Control Z or Zena right away. So that's what I do. Some people prefer to use it earlier before the mirror mech, and that's usually if your DPS is like weak. But if your DPS is pretty strong, as you can see, I'm not even proccing the second part of Azena because I'm playing with all my homies. Um, so I don't feel the need to proc the second one, the second Azena ability. The first one is just good enough DPS, and the reason why is because if your DPS is too strong, in the basement, you might not have enough of the Sidereal meter to use was it Efernia and Thar in there. So I always just save the extra gauge, just because I play to win. I don't play to DPS the thing down. I trust in my teammates to do that for me, or for us, right? So I trust in our own abilities. But pretty much you just use a Zenna there. The second time you use side is when you go to Big Echidna. Big Echidna spawns. You're gonna play through like the little mini game of dodging the lines, um, especially in normal mode. It's the same that applies to hard mode, but here usually you hit the counter, and then everyone is gonna do as much stagger as they can at the start before she gets back up. Everyone's gonna back up and get prepared for the clash. Of course, this is normal mode, so there's not going to be the hearts that spawn right before the clash. Um, and you're going to be prepared to use Thar. Now, Thar is going to do a ton of stagger to her, and the timing is really important. So we have someone getting the clash right now, and as soon as he does that, you're going to notice that this icon right here, just appeared on the very far left, right? Um, and and I think it's called the blessing. So if you just watch the far left, a new buff is going to appear, and you're gonna wait until that buff hits 16 seconds, and it's strictly like 17 to 16 seconds, and I use it exactly when it hits like 16, 15 seconds, and that's gonna give Thar enough time to stagger it. And the reason why you do it at 16 seconds is because I use it, but because my boy who got the clash got perfects, you actually regain a bunch of meter. So if I back up, I have 4 bars of meter here. Um, I use star, that's going to use 3 bars, but then because we got perfects, it's going to regain another 2. So that's the reason why you want to use it in that window where you have the blessing, um, and you want to be able to proc it at 16 seconds. So just run up, Control C. You don't need to use the second one. That's pretty much it. So now you hit the basement. As you can see, even after the big echidna, we originally had 3 bars of meter, and then now we have like 4 full, and then we have the 5th one coming up. And this is just because I saved the first side usage. I didn't proc the second Azena ability, if you recall. That's just because our DPS is good, and I want to make sure that we have a Fernia instead of using the flame grenade trick. But essentially, you're going to DPS it down, and then you're just going to wait until, which I skipped. You're going to wait until you can use Thar, which is here. She's going to get prepared to mech, and you're going to fight the snakes. Um, So you're just gonna walk up near the clash spot, and remember you can only Thar the white snake. I don't think you could Thar the black snake. So she's going to disappear. You're just gonna wait up top if you're the side leader. Control C on Thar. Only have to use it once, and he's essentially just gonna do the clash for you. You go and do your DPS to 61 bars, and then you transition to hitting the other snake. You cannot use Thar for the black snake at the bottom. The next side usage is when you want to proc Infernia. So because I manage my side meter pretty well, I have Infernia right away. In Echidna, if you hit 50% meter on the top left, she is going to do some motion, the Ren action. So this is it. She lifts her arms in the air. Ren's going to do some dialogue. We hit 50% of the meter. So this is like a free DPS window if you are able to use Infernia. Otherwise, if you use the flame grenade tactic, go watch Memorizer's video um, if you want more details on that. But essentially, you just proc Infernia here, just so that he flames the entire area. The snakes don't do anything. He actually damages the boss, um, and it just gives everyone an extra window to DPS. Um, I believe there's one more time you can use the side. So here, as we're getting kind of closer to the end, I generally don't feel the need to use a Zena at the very end just to like nuke her. She's usually going to be like doing patterns and stuff, and I don't want to afford to miss. I usually wait until our party kind of gets back to that 50% mech. So if you remember, 50% is Efernia window, 100% is you gotta play the small snakes, and then if you do manage to reset the meter, like what we do here, sometimes she will get to a point where it is back to 50%. Um, and so I save Efernia for proccing it again, just so that we have that extra DPS window. But if you can, yeah, I know it's hard to see, but she has like 10 bars, 20, 10 bars left. Here, I think I just strictly just proc. Maybe I just proc a Zena just to finish it off. Um, Actually, I don't do anything. I just say didn't even bother using side. But use Efernia in case you have, you hit that 50% meter again. You could always use a Zena if it's literally like 10 bars left and you're really close to getting Berserk. So that's pretty much, the whole Sidereal usage. It's quite a bit. Hopefully I explained to, in detail and like why I'm saving some skills and, it's pretty simple. You just use control, Z, X, and C for the different abilities. Sometimes you use the second proc, other times you don't. It just kind of depends on your DPS if you need more DPS. If you're DPSing fast, I generally don't use the second proc at all. And if you're, not doing too much DPS, maybe consider using the second proc of just a Zena and Infernia, but I never had to use the second proc of Thar, like ever. So, um, yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. It's a little bit of a different one. Let me know what you guys think, if it even helps. I just pulled up like a quick VOD. But I'll try to like showcase some ones where I'm actually supporting and um, you know, there's certain bosses where definitely the DPS is a little bit tighter, so I'll show you guys some of those runs maybe in the future if that's requested in like Thamine or even Thamine Gate 4 or even what other bosses are there? Like even I don't even think I run a cons anymore, but yeah, just let me know. I probably have a bunch of VODs just lying around, and I could just help you guys out who are trying to be their side leaders. So again, hope you guys enjoyed. Like, favorite, subscribe, all that good stuff. Really appreciate the support. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.